This is part 5 of my tutorial series for making your own hardbound copy of fan fiction. In this video, I'll be showing you how to complete the text block construction and get it ready for casing in. We'll start by tipping on the end papers. This is a sheet of 65-pound cardstock. It is cut down to the 8.5 by 11 size, and I am going to be folding both of these sheets in half. You can also use other weights of cardstock like 80-pound or 100-pound, but I recommend using cardstock and not paper so that you've got a good sturdy structure for casing in your book. Then you'll need some glue, a piece of scratch paper, and a way to apply it. I use a silicone brush, and you're going to line up the scratch paper about 1/4 inch away from the spine of the text block, and then using your brush, carefully apply the glue along the entire length of the spine. Remove the scratch paper and apply the end paper, fold side pointed toward the spine, into the glued area. Overhang the fold of the end paper by about 1 millimeter over the edge of the spine. This will help give your hinge a little bit of extra room so the book is easier to open when it's finished. Repeat the process on the back to tip on the second end paper, and then place the entire text block in your book press to dry so that you get good adhesion. Once the end papers are dry, this is when you could potentially trim the text block. This is not a requirement, as deckled edges can be very beautiful, but it is really a personal preference on whether to keep them. I use a heavy-duty guillotine to trim the top, bottom, and foredges of most of my text blocks. I just line up the spine along the straight edge of the top of the guillotine and then press down the presser foot and cut. I cut the height of the text block to A4 size, and I cut the width of the text block to 14 centimeters from the edge of the end papers. This results in a pretty standard size book with nice clean edges, which can later be painted or foiled. Once you're happy with the text block, stick it back into the book press, but leave a little bit sticking out so we've got plenty of room to work on the spine. If you want to add a ribbon for a bookmark, now is the time to do it. Cut a piece of ribbon to be twice as long as the length of the spine. And while I'm cutting, I'll go ahead and also cut the end bands to be the width of the spine. Cut one for each end. I also cut a piece of mull fabric to add structural support to the spine. We'll start by adding some glue to the bottom of the text block so we can add our ribbon. This way the ribbon can pull up through the text block and hang down the spine when it's done. Add some more glue over the top of it so that it's really good and locked in there. Then more glue, and we can add our end band. You can also make your own end band or sew on an end band, but I like to use these little pre-made ones because I think they're a little bit easier. Add the second one to the top the same way. Then we'll add a bunch more glue and spread it out with your brush. I like this silicone brush because it's really easy to clean up. The glue, dried glue doesn't stick to it, but really any brush will do, or even your finger for spreading glue. Finally, we add the mull and use your brush or finger to make sure that there's really good adhesion to the glue, and feel free to add more glue if you need to. I usually do. If you don't have mull, you can use any other kind of light woven fabric like a cheesecloth. Once the glue dries, then you're going to have a completed text block that's ready to be cased in.